Hi everyone, today we are in Hobart and the event that is on this weekend, there's lots of them, but it's called Open House. And I have a couple of tours booked in some of the older buildings. I'm going to show you in some of those buildings with us. At the moment we are at Franklin Square. This is the fountain right in town. You can see the post office just across there. They did have a tour that went up so you could go and have a look at the clock tower. We weren't picking up that one unfortunately this year. Hopefully we might be able to pick up something like that next year. This happens, it's an annual event, it happens each year. So we're just walking up to the Treasury Building, that's our first stop. I just noticed that they have a Christmas shop over there inside the church. I wonder if that's worth checking out, Jeff.
So you know, we come into town on a regular basis, right? And I'm still blown away every time I come in here with the buildings and the architecture and just, the style of the buildings. You got to come down and have a look at some of this stuff. It's just absolutely amazing. Beautiful, isn't it?
It is. Very historical part of town. Lots of old sandstone buildings. It's very much like Sydney in some ways, except on a small scale, of course. Interesting bit of information. We're about to head in here to the Treasury Building. That's what we're going in to have a tour with. Across the way, this used to be an old jail. And they used to perform public hangings back in the day. This is an interesting building. Caused a bit of controversy with the red awnings. Looks really pretty, I like it. But the pundits who are very historical minded didn't.
This event takes place in November and there are lots of different open houses that you can book in for over the Saturday and the Sunday. Most of these are free and they're run by volunteers. The only thing is you have to be pretty quick. So I suggest joining the Facebook group and getting some advance notice of when it's all about to start. We're now in the Treasury Building. Always wanted to know what was inside. Really interesting though. There's a real mix of some old. It wasn't as historic as I was expecting. In fact, some of the areas that we went to were really quite sterile. Even though the visual wasn't quite what I was expecting, the history and the stories around the actual building itself, they were very interesting.
So that was made circa 1835 and it was in the 1970s. Anyone want to take a guess at what it's valued at?
Dag. Next stop on our open house tour of Hobart is the Retunda. And here is the Retunda and it's located in St David's Park near Salamanca. You can't access and get up onto the Retunda. It's only on special events like this. They'll actually take you in and up so you can stand on it and have a look around. And they do have concerts here from time to time, but that settled down during COVID times and they're looking at trying to get back into that a little bit more in the future. So this is the Retunda. I want to just note something of interest that we found out. Come with me. So it's this plaque on the Retunda, and this is Wyn Stanley. Wyn Stanley was a constable, and he was killed at age 36 by Martin Cash. That's his plaque there up on the Retunda. The story goes that he was chased one night. They actually tricked him by telling him that they had captured his girlfriend and made him come all the way from out near Norfolk Way to town, I believe. And it was all a big trap to try and catch him. And when he did come into town, so lots of things happened and a chase ensued, and he ended up going down a dead end sort of over near Argyle Street, and then he backtracked, and then he ended up running down Brisbane Street. Anyway, there was this huge crowd and big ruckus going on, and the bartender at the pub at Brisbane Street said to the constable who was sitting at the bar enjoying his beer at the time, "You better go and check out what's happening out there." Unfortunately, he did. It was Martin Cash. Martin Cash drew his gun and shot him.
This is an incredibly beautiful park and we love to visit it, but if you are new to the area, make sure you visit it during the day. It's actually a very unsafe park at night time. It isn't very well lit. We have quite a few homeless people living in this park at present, and there's also quite a significant drug problem in this area, particularly in this park. Question the hygiene of the park as well. Just watch where you sit. Wouldn't be going through the gardens or letting your kids play in there. You don't know what you might find. It's a real shame that it's happening, and I understand that we do have homeless, but you need to watch out for yourself. So if you do need to walk your way, make sure you go up the main road and around the park itself using the footpath. I wouldn't be crossing through here at night time at all.
This whole park was an old cemetery. They resumed the cemetery, and some of the headstones you'll find down in a galley down there. You can go through and check those out. Others were moved to Cornelian Bay, which is where our other cemetery is here in Hobart. They've been doing some digs. They're trying to find Governor Collins. I believe he was one of the very first people, or first important people buried here 6 years after the park was open, but they have been searching for him and they haven't been able to find him, so he has since gone. But this is a beautiful park, and there are still some vaults and, like I said, headstones around that you can come in and have a view of. So these are some of the bigger ones that have been left behind. So we had the chaplain. Who do we have here? We have Ebenezer Bicheno, Colonial Secretary and Registrar of Records. Over here, the remains of Sir John Audley Bardley. He was the late Lieutenant Governor of Van Diemen's Land. And down there you have James Kelly. We're just stopping in at the Cascade on Collins for a quick drink before we start walking up the hill to go to Anglesea Barracks.
Anglesea Barracks can be found at the top end of Davey Street. You need to check online for times when they are open outside of the open house.
Take this building for example, we understand the middle section of it, it was all not alternative, something alternative.
Walking tours of the Anglesea Barracks take you through where all the buildings are and give you a really good insight as to the history. The volunteers who conduct the tours of Anglesea Barracks and also take you through the museum are some of the best that I've ever seen. They are so full of knowledge, stories, and are willing to answer any question you might throw at them.
if you enjoy military museums, you have to come to Anglesea Barracks if you come to Hobart. Check out the opening times. The museum is curated fantastically. It's well worth a visit.
We did have one last quick stop at the Marine Museum. They had the door open and you could go up. Told us it was a very exciting room upstairs. We came up, we saw lots of boxes and a view through this window. Probably wasn't the best stop we'd had during the day. Nevertheless, that wraps up our Saturday of Open House Hobart. I will pop a link in the description for anyone who's interested in visiting when Open House Hobart is on. It wasn't just these buildings that I've shown in the video, there are actually dozens and dozens of buildings that are available for you to go and have a browse through. A little bit of a sneaky peek, if you will. Thanks for sticking around and watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!